really congratulate Michael and team for putting together this meetup. It's very, very gratifying and happy to see all of you on a Saturday morning come so early and shows your enthusiasm to learn, right? This is amazing.
Your name?
Big round of applause to all of us.
Nitya.
To be here on a Saturday morning. Because we have a lot of things to do. We have a wide stuff to do. But we prioritized this session and came all the way, right? And today's this particular topic, beyond the black box, operationalizing AI as mitigation through some AI specific frameworks. This is not enough.
No, this is recording.
Oh, okay. So, I'm not sure how many of us are familiar with different AI frameworks. The field is evolving, as we all know. As of now, we have very good bunch of frameworks that are being used by the industry. We'll take a look at each of them. I just want to skip this. Already, Michael gave a good intro about me. I currently work for Volvo Group. Since I do not have authorization to represent them, I just put a generic industry title, something like Global Automotive Company. Otherwise, I work for Volvo Group. And a very quick disclaimer, whatever I'm gonna say here is purely my personal views, not that of my employer, right? So with that, we will take a look at all these aspects of AI security risk mitigation. Any new technology is replete with risks that we all know. While we focus on functionality and the utility, the security risk should not be ignored at all. We know today we are in the era of AI versus AI. We've got terms like adversarial AI, right? So all these things are making it all the more vulnerable of the new evolving technology. What is core here is you cannot assume trust, right? In whatever we build, trust must be engineered with the right set of security controls commensurate with the vulnerabilities, right? So some of the key objectives that we want to achieve when we build anything is to demystify the security requirements, right? Demystify the technology, right? And importantly, we have to build that trust and transparency through the right set of controls, and that has to be tested. And it is not a one-time effort. We all know it is a continuous journey, right? And importantly, safety, especially in the domain that I work for, right? And we work in connected car era, we work on autonomous cars, or the earlier industry I used to work for, Philips, that's again into healthcare. So these two industry sectors are very, very vulnerable, high risks, high stakes, primarily because the systems that we build are, if it is compromised or attacked, it could lead to life safety issues. In a banking and financial services company or in the IT industry, if data breach happens or any sort of malicious attack happens, only 2 or 3 things are at stake. Of course, identity theft happens, IP theft happens, and your financial finances can go for a toss, they can be siphoned off. But whereas in automotive and healthcare, it is about life safety, right? Imagine you're driving a car, connected vehicle, and the car is not obeying your commands, right? The car has been compromised, the threat actor is compromising your car, and then it is not obeying your commands. You're not able to brake, you're not able to steer, and it's very scary. You can Google for any brand name, right? Any brand name and just say car hacking, you have enough and more examples that as proof of concept. Many of the ethical hackers have proved that these cars can be compromised. And recently Waymo car also went and hit other cars which were parked. So these kind of anomalous behavior is still happening. We are not perfected. I got a lot of friends who traveled in Waymo when they visited US, completely autonomous vehicle. You just have to give your, order for the cab, and then you go get in. It drops you at a designated spot. And the guys were saying we had our hearts in our mouth. We were not sure whether we will go safe and come out in one piece, right? So that's a level of sophistication, but the trust is always a big question mark, right? And of course, we want to ensure that we build integrity in whatever we build, right? So a true innovation is in AI isn't just about performance, it's about building systems that are resilient, ethical and defensible, right? Defensible by design. So this is a very tall order. It's easy to make a statement like this, but we have to ponder about this and see in our day-to-day work when we build AI systems, are these principles are being incorporated, right? So as a CISO, for the benefit of the folks who are in college, it's very nice to see a lot of young folks from, they're doing their college, they are attending this event. CISO is Chief Information Security Officer, who's the head of cybersecurity, who runs the entire department. So CISO today, they look at AI as a strategic imperative. It's pretty much part of the overall security roadmap. All right, and most of the companies' adoption rate has gone up very high. AI adoption rate and varying degrees of benefits they are reaping. But at the same time, we'll also have to be cognizant of the fact that a lot of survey reports are saying that the hype is very high. The reality talks otherwise. In the sense, the AI adoption is high, but the actual benefits that companies are getting is not much. So one section of the survey companies are quoting that this is just a bubble, that we have to wait and watch. But point here is the AI hype or not, as developers, as practitioners, it's our duty to ensure whenever AI is adopted that the security aspect has to be kept in mind, right? Today the attack surface has increased thanks to AI, so that brings in a lot of dynamism and makes it all the more complex, right? And we need to integrate security in the AI lifecycle, right? Already Siddharth talked about it, and very unique AI risks are coming. So I'll come to a slide. We talk about a very high level overview of different threats, and that is evolving, right? So 1 in 4 CISOs have already encountered AI powered attacks. It highlights how AI is vulnerable. And today the phishing campaigns are hyper realistic, right? The olden days, I remember when we started career back in 2004, phishing attacks were always there, right? All those fancy Nigerian prince giving you $100 million were there. So our trainers used to tell us what are the red flags you can spot in an email. But today all that things are gone out of the window. It doesn't hold good anymore, right? Because we are in the era of deep fakes, hyper realistic emails, which you can't distinguish which is real, which is fake, right? And many companies still fall for it, many employees fall for it. Human intellect and human judgment is more important. That's why I'm a big fan of empowering and giving the contextual awareness to the human element, and they will act as a firewall, right? So in this kind of scenario where hyper realistic phishing email attacks are happening, it only makes it worse. Your traditional phishing detection doesn't work, right? So you need to bring in an AI tool, AI powered phishing detection tool, right? So that's the kind of scenario we are in. You must have heard about shadow IT risks. Same thing applies to shadow AI, right? So what is a risk in shadow AI? Anyone?
Data leakage.
Yeah. What is the other risks? Any other risk apart from shadow, apart from data leakage? It is having issues with data privacy. Yeah, exactly. You cannot trace. There's issue with the legality, copyright, right? You don't bring in procurement. We don't know what sort of vulnerabilities those systems are bringing in. You just download some utility and then you integrate. It is not a good thing. So it has legal issues, implications. It has technical implications, right? You violate the corporate policies, and that brings in own set of issues. So the risks of AI are multifold, but we are only worried about the weaponization, deepfakes, privacy, and the security. Of course, when we speak about responsible AI, a lot more comes in, right? A lot more principles come in, including avoiding bias. Now, how do you look at the threat landscape today posed by AI? What is the strategic business impact? So look at this spectrum. The other end you have technical, this side you have strategic. Everything from sensitive data exposure to model IP theft, AI misinformation, adversarial attacks, all of them pose a big problem, including reputational damage. Today, in the era of social media, heroes become zeros become hero, right? It applies as much as individuals, even for companies. So AI misinformation campaigns can actually bring in a lot of damage, right? All of that is happening. And here is a quick threat map. I somehow took a fancy for this particular slide. It's one of my favorite slides. So how AI risks are actually at different level, at usage level, application level, and platform level, right? So I like this categorization. So at platform level, it could be data poisoning or model theft, and at application level, it could be indirect prompt injection attack, data exfiltration, or insecure plugin design, right? And at user level, it could be jailbreaking, shadow AI, or sensitive data disclosure. So these are some of the common risks. It's by no means a exhaustive list, the one-line explanation of the same. This slide, anyway, Michael will be sharing with you for you to take a deeper dive. Because of paucity of time, I'm not going through line by line or slide by slide. Otherwise, this will become a master class. Clear? So all these threats are there. So we need to have a strong governance structure, right, at the top of your program, right? Without governance, risk and compliance, you are actually risk blind, right? So GRC is a domain that I built my career predominantly. Out of the 22 years in the industry, at least 20 years I spent in GRC, right? So the point is, at the core, we are all techies. Without any sort of structure, we love to play with tech tools. Agreed? So when you have GRC, it puts a structure to the program, whether it is cybersecurity or part of it which is AI security, right? So today the governance structures that we have, the processes, the risk management practices we have to follow, and of course the compliance that comes along in the industry we operate in are more important when we develop meaningful products and meaningful services, right? At heart, we are techies and we love to play around, but without structure, it is not really going to fly in current world, because the regulatory controls, regulatory requirements are very important. Otherwise, you will fall foul of the law. Agreed? So all these things, from defining the roles to integrating frameworks, identifying risks, prioritizing monitoring risks, and also remediating them or bringing them to acceptable levels is much more important. And of course, you have a policy framework to manage all of them, right? And the other key thing is, just like you discover assets for your IT inventory, even AI assets also need to have a discovery. You have tools for that, and you have to classify them, right? The inventory is very important, because without knowing what you are trying to protect, you will go nowhere, right? First, we should know what we are trying to protect, and then only we can put in meaningful controls or strategize how we can control them, right? And these are some of the key security controls you can put for different AI systems, from AppSec to infra, platform security, model security, and data security and privacy. So it's a multi-pronged effort. It is not just a simple thing to do. And today you have a lot more compliance and audit considerations. Key frameworks could include data privacy regulations in different countries. In India also you have the DPDP Act, and very soon government is also planning to bring in a AI specific law. We don't know when that's going to happen. You have the NIST risk management framework specific for AI. Then you have different countries like the EU AI Act. That's a very key piece of legislation in the EU region. Then you do have all the audit readiness. How do you achieve? By having proper documentation and traceability and lineage you need to have, and explainable AI, right? When we talk about responsible AI, one of the key principles is the XAI, that is explainable AI, the decision making. So in my industry, if autonomous car is deciding whether to hit people or swerve, right? If you swerve, the car might impact more accidents, create more accidents. Instead, can it hit one person and go away, right? These are all real split-second decision the car has to decide, right? The AI system that is on board has to decide. So that needs to be explained, right? On what basis this decision was configured in your system, in your AI systems, right? And regular internal and external audits. And just like we have monitoring and governance mechanisms in normal IT, we have the change management board, right? Something similar we should have AI, ethical AI review board. That is also important when you develop complex AI systems impacting human lives, right? So these are important. And the other key aspect is the global compliance. I already spoke about the EU AI Act. Being in the auto sector and my company being a European company, we come under a lot of scrutiny. So when we develop autonomous systems in our buses and trucks, for that matter, even our marine engines or luxury yachts and luxury boats, we develop engines. All of them come with AI capabilities, right? So when you use autonomous vehicles, the EU AI Act specifies certain decisions as high risk. So for that we need to have stronger explainability factor, traceability, principles need to be there in our systems, right? And more importantly, all the vulnerabilities will have to have a strong mechanism. How do we handle? So when you look into a bus, console, you have a lot of third-party apps also. Excuse me, third-party apps. So those apps might be using some AI agents, right? So even those have come under vulnerability handling. So if somebody is able to report such vulnerabilities, do we have capability to handle them? Right? It's a mandate by different laws in the EU, and also the other state laws in US. US has multiple states, and each state will have its own requirements. Then of course the GDPR and CCPA from data privacy, and you need to have a strong framework alignment. Okay. Now, how do you build a robust AI governance? Some of the core principles could include: how do you manage AI specific risks, and how do you enhance quality, and importantly the reliability, and third thing is the building trust and transparency. Excuse me. So these key principles you need to bake in, and importantly your security architecture should be integrated with AI security, right? So how do you do that? So follow all these principles. How do you foster collaboration? How do you extend existing security controls? And of course, you need to look at the existing supply chain vulnerabilities and third party tools, and also enable strategically balance AI enablement. So it needs a lot of deep thinking from your leadership and how you go about building all of this. Excuse me. And your security frameworks, you have a lot more which is evolving currently, but this is by no means exhaustive list, but you should start with OASP. You guys are familiar with this, I believe, right? So OASP top 10 for large language models. This they keep publishing almost on a yearly basis or periodically. Please download this and get yourself familiar. So this is a quick picture of all the key vulnerabilities they are talking about and how you go about fixing them. Then you do have the specific checklist for LLM. Excuse me. And this also is very dynamic. On a yearly basis, they review and publish. So please take a look at the latest version. And what is very important for security leaders when they are going to adopt is, see, unless it makes sense for the organization and how leaders are going to make themselves look good, it will not fly, right? So when they sell this particular framework, they'll have to consider what is in for them, right? So it helps them to prioritize their security risks and then specific to LLMs and provides a guidance for testing, right? So how do you go about testing your AI systems? Probably this could be a basis. Then we already know about NIST got a cybersecurity framework. So similar to that is the risk management framework for AI. Okay. Excuse me. You guys are familiar with this? So across these 4 areas, right? So govern, map, measure, and manage. You have the core principles listed, right? So please take a deep dive into these documents. It's available in this URL. Excuse me, got a bad throat, sorry for that. And then how it is useful. The NIST gives you a holistic risk management and it offers your life cycle approach. You can integrate into your AI systems, the development life cycle, and also focuses more on trustworthiness. So today we need to enhance trust in the AI systems. That way this helps a lot. And more importantly, this is you can integrate with the existing framework, so you don't have to reinvent the wheel, correct? And another framework I would strongly recommend is the Google's Secure AI framework, SAF. And this is also very very much popular. They got a coalition for secure AI by all these companies. They all put their heads together and come up with this. And then some of the core principles or the core elements of SAIF, right? So why this is very useful is the actionable guidance it offers, the operational focus it gives, and secure by default principle, right? So that you bake in security in the AI lifecycle rather than adding on later, so that we all know. And then it covers the emerging threats, right? So the latest threats also, it is very much alive. You know pretty well about ISO 42001, 42001. So this is the ISO standard. Many companies are going for this, right? So this global standard, it helps you to operationalize your establish, implement, maintain, and continuously improve, like for your AI management system. Like your ISO 27001 is for information security. This is for AI management system, right? So this is again a very key piece of ISO publication. This standard, if you follow, you will put a structure to the entire AI program. But my caution to you is don't rush into this, because once you get into this, you cannot easily get off unless it's a client mandate, or you have to enhance your standing in the market that with this ISO certification, go for it. Otherwise, please try avoiding, right? But definitely it has benefits. ISO always helps in giving that structure and governance to your program, standardize it. And the key thing here about ISO is the rigor and discipline, right? Rigor and discipline in your practices, in your processes, in your documentation, all of this actually helps you. Then it provides a comprehensive risk management, right? Effective risk management, and then ensures compliance and builds trust and accountability. But as I said, please be very cautious unless it is a mandate. Do not go for ISO, okay? And of course, the other benefits are integration, promotes secure AI lifecycle, and operationalizes AI principles, right? Heard about this, MITRE Atlas? Anyone? Excuse me. So MITRE Corporation, about a couple of years back, they introduced this Atlas. It stands for Adversarial Threat Landscape for AI Systems, okay? And this is a very vast repository of all the AI threats, including the TTPs, right? So you should definitely make use of this. It is a very live repository. You can log in here and check what is the latest threat so that you are aware and take remediation measures, right? So the benefits here is it standardizes the threat language, right? And enhances threat intelligence and prioritize defenses. And of course, it improves security control validation, right? So, and of course, the other benefits could be streamlining your incident response, proactive threat hunting, and bridge between cyber and AI teams, and informed secure AI development. So whenever there is AI systems are under attack, some incident happens, the key thing is how good you are in launching an incident response. Within minutes or within hours, how resilient your organization is, right? And it should not take too much time and downtime and not able to service your clients, right? Because it's not just about the downtime, it's about the monetary loss, financial loss, and also revenue loss in future, and the bad press, in the sense the reputational damage it might create. So the whole point is with all these frameworks and governance procedures, you are only making your program very robust from security and privacy standpoint, right? So those of you in the healthcare industry, even HITRUST has got a AI risk management framework which you can very well integrate. Here is a quick comparison table between different frameworks and the key aspects for them, right? So you can always take a deep dive once Michael shares this with all of you. I think towards the end of this presentation I have come. What's very important is the principles, the security principles your leadership adopts, right, in this AI journey. So we already spoke about shift left security. Same thing applies here as well. So secure by design, right? Privacy by design principles, and how good you are in data governance, right? So that is very important. And AI supply chain security, this is a new term. The same supply chain that we have for IT, now it is just moved to AI. That is also critical. Continuous monitoring and red teaming. Today in our company we have red teamers who specialize in AI and they are always in demand, right? Every business unit wants to utilize them to test their AI systems. We have Volvo GPT in our company. I'm sure many of your organizations, you have your own customized version. You're also having Microsoft Copilot Security, very, very useful for security professionals. Our SOC teams extensively use that, right? Built in a lot of agentic AI into system, right, in our SIEM and SOAR, makes life much more easier, and the scale and the speed at which the attacks happen. Today, you cannot have traditional defenses anymore. Only with AI-powered systems, we are able to combat it effectively. That's the reason when we build in AI into our traditional and upgrade our traditional defenses, your incident response preparedness goes up by many notches, right? It's not enough if you have old school tech anymore, right? And compliance and ethical AI is very important because when we design our vehicles, right? By the way, Volvo Cars doesn't belong to us. It belongs to a Chinese company called Geely Automobiles. We sold it back in 1999 to Ford. Ford in turn sold it to Geely in 2008. So Volvo Cars still have the rights to use the Volvo brand name. But please do not confuse. Volvo Group is different from Volvo Cars. But nevertheless, Volvo Cars are also into majorly they are known for safety. No Volvo car will win any contest for beauty though, but it's for safety. How many of you know that Volvo is the original inventor of the 3-point safety belt? 1955, they didn't take any royalty. It's for the humanity they serve. So they did not make any money out of patenting or anything. So safety is always our byline even today. And in today's autonomous car era, safety assumes a very significant aspect in everything that we do, right? So with this, here is a 5-point AI security roadmap for the leadership. One is having a strong AI governance. Continuous risk assessment. Again, risk assessment cannot be a one-time effort. Okay, I do an annual risk assessment. That doesn't fly today. We are in the era of continuous monitoring, right? So continuous scanning, continuous risk assessment, and then embedding security in AI development, and actively monitor systems and prepare AI incident response. The preparedness is important. I cannot emphasize more. We always have this saying which says the more more you sweat in practice, the less you bleed in war, right? So the same principle. So more you are preparing for incidents with a lot of testing, role play. Every member of the incident response team knows what does they have to do in minutes or in seconds, how agile they are, how prepared they are, and what kind of support management needs to give them to make them more resilient, right? So on the day of attack, you don't know how it's going to pan out, right? But it's always good to be prepared for the bad day. For that one day, all the kind of controls, the frameworks that we put together should actually help you to be more robust, right? So the real world impact is how the leadership helps in the AI security transformation, right? The business value they bring in, that is going to be very much important. And today everything is AI driven, from automating tasks in the SOC. And already said we are already using agentic AI in our SOC management. And of course, human in the loop is very important. And pen testing, threat modeling, so many things we are already leveraging AI for cybersecurity. And in securing the AI future, here's a call for the leadership. One is embedding AI security, leading collaboration with all the other stakeholders across functions. Third is staying proactive. It's very important. You cannot rest on your laurels. because security is a continuous process. And finally, empower secure AI, right? And I'm sure you must be hearing this phrase. Security of AI and AI for security is two different terms. Please take a deep dive in Google to understand these two terms. And thankful to Michael for this wonderful opportunity. Again, as I said, I don't want to be between you and the networking. Thank you again, everyone. Wishing you the best.
Any questions?
Yeah.
Right, like whether it's CrowdStrike or Snowflake, right?
Yeah.
And I know that you have touched upon this AI supply chain as well. What do you think about this type of black box models, which will be, I think, now being used in the widely, and we don't have any visibility inside of those models, and how the kind of weightage are being created on those models, and how the data will be secured in those all? Is there any thoughts, early thoughts or kind of thing?
See, the title of this talk itself is Beyond the Black Box, right? So we don't know what is in, how it has been designed. So that is a basic trouble point of sore point for me when I look at it from the regulatory and the governance perspective. When it is not explainable AI, I have my own issues and I have trust issues with that system, right? Would you be comfortable doing that? Any decision, whether it is human made or machine made like AI systems, should be explainable. You can't be arbitrary. So the human bias, everything comes in there. That's why the whole concept of responsible AI principles have to be baked in, and that actually enhances the standing, and also it's a natural justice principle, right? So today I'll give you a very crude analogy. The ongoing SIR reviews done by the election commission, without rhyme or reason or without proper logic, lot many voters names are deleted. When people go and question, there is no proper answer, right? And there is no responsible like AI, there is no responsible answer logic for that. Would you be comfortable dealing with that? Tomorrow, if the powers that be says that we have used a AI algorithm to do this, so you will question, right? On what basis you deleted my voter ID? Now I'm not able to exercise my, my right as a citizen of the country, right? So the same thing, anything you need to have that explainability. If it is not there, that has its own, bad things going around.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm here. I also noticed that you are mentioning the continuous frameworks and the automated defense.
Yeah.
Okay. I just want to know that have you implemented the CTEM and AMTD, which means continuous threat monitoring and automated threat defense in Volvo?
Yes, yes. No, I cannot tell you anything specific to my company, so do not expect. I can always connect with you offline, but not in a public.
I just want to know that what's the success ratio? How those frameworks impacted your security operation? As a positive or whether it's increased operations?
It is positive. Of course, the more you monitor, the more vulnerabilities you will be able to detect, which otherwise you wouldn't. So definitely work is there. It is always good to know where our vulnerabilities are existing and how frequent. And also our systems learn, our AI systems learn the patterns, and that helps in making a quick remediation. So continuous monitoring is the way to go forward. You can't have a periodic monitoring. Those days are gone, right? Quarterly monitoring we do. Today we are in the era of continuous monitoring. It's always good. I'll always advocate that.
Hi.
Yeah.
I help small companies with their current GRC compliance when they're selling to large enterprises. I've noticed that without external frameworks, it's virtually impossible to sell an enterprise client. Especially for AI, how it may not be specific to Volvo, how are CISOs evaluating suppliers without a framework? You told 42001 is hard, but without that, how will the small company?
It's a big struggle. Startups are struggling today because they don't want to spend money on security, or even if they have the will and intent, don't have the capability, do not have the money to spare, right? So they cannot target anywhere, any of the big enterprises. Day in, day out, I get a lot of cold calls, including in LinkedIn. Random people want to connect with me, and they want to connect and pitch immediately. All kind of startups. So we always say we do not do business with small companies. And today this era of MSSPs, right? For us, almost MSSPs HCL, they signed a $1 billion contract for 10 years. Last 3 months back, it came in the news. Infosys was also competing for that. So when you have large companies, Infosys lost in the race, HCL continued. HCL, we have a relationship for 10 years. So these kind of small startups, lot of enthusiasm, all they need is one break with a large company like a big brand company like Volvo. Doesn't fly, because when we look at their, when we evaluate both the technical capabilities as well as the functional capabilities, they do not spend much time for security aspects. That's a big turn off for us. So we will openly tell them. And our criteria, when our procurement team, we have trained, unless these companies have these certifications, then only we want to even come to the table to talk to them. Otherwise, do not bring us in. It's a waste of time. The guys could be very well-meaning bunch of founders and the team, but without security certifications and the bells and whistles, big enterprises will never touch them. That's the truth today.
If it's okay, what framework is Volvo looking for, like internally?
See, primarily we look for, you should know what you're talking about when you speak security. You cannot beat around the bush and say we need tangible evidence. How are you managing security and resiliency? Today, security, we talk security, in the same breath, we want resiliency, we want data privacy. All those three things come together. So when you say we have our own internal standard, okay, what is the internal standard? On what basis? Not able to explain. Do you have you may not have a CISO, at least do you have a security team? A team may not have a C-level executive, but at least do you have a responsible person? No. So even earlier, when I used to work for Nissan Motor Corporation, I worked with them for 5 years. Many of our hub, Asian hub in Southeast Asia was Thailand. Thailand had a very big Nissan plant. A lot of small startups in Thailand were pitching for offering services and their products. So when I was part of the GRC team, and when we evaluate them, they didn't have the maturity, because they didn't get the perspective at all that you need to have ISO certification or any of the frameworks that they need to map their controls and security program. They need to have a dedicated team. The IT sysadmin will develop as a security guy, and within 2 minutes we know what they are, right? So it doesn't do any favor for them nor for us. It's a waste of time. So that's where these small startups, they are also under tremendous pressure to make money, but without security they are not going to crack large accounts.
Thank you.
One last question.
I know a lot of people have so many questions, but
Hi, I'm Saurabh this side. First of all, thank you for sharing your insight about how GS is really important for the AI-driven world. So you discussed about the shift-led approach, like security design and privacy by design, to taking the proper governance framework and talking about the incident response and monitoring planning. My question is to you, years of talking about years of experience in this field. What do you think that proactive approach or the reactive monitoring is the more you'd like to prioritize? Or maybe I just want to understand how an organization should balance both the technique.
see, it all depends on the philosophy, the drive, the motivation, and the resources you can allocate for a proactive monitoring or a proactive approach, whatever you do when it comes to security, safety, privacy, and resilience. All these four are important. It's very easy to put glossy, terms in a nice slide deck and say we do all these things. This is what we see when all these wannabe vendors want to come and pitch. Not necessarily the small startups, even mid-sized companies, they put all the terms. But when you dig in deep, they do not have anything tangible to prove that they are doing anything proactive or whatever they say. So being proactive is a very important and the way to go. But do you have the capability to allocate and the will and the intent of the management to follow that line? That is very important. Otherwise, it's just a nice slogan or a nice fancy term that you can put it. Whatever you say, just like individuals, whatever you put it in your CV, you have to back up. Whatever you talk in your marketing pitch, you have to showcase that, right? I mean, you should have evidence for whatever you say. Otherwise, it is meaningless. The term proactive is meaningless, right? I hope that answered your question to a large extent. Thanks. So it's wonderful interacting with all of you. Sorry for my voice, I'm just recovering. Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt. I just had a simple question, like how do you guys approach testing in these scenarios? Like testing up to a point that we can trust a system for a certain attack. Like how is that done?
So we do simulation, the AI red teaming simulation attacks, and we take into inputs from all this MITRE Atlas repository, and also the OWASP top 10. And also we get a lot of inputs from the CTI team, right? Cyber threat intelligence and threat hunters about what is the latest campaigns that are going on by the different APT gangs, right? What is the latest AI techniques they are using, AI powered attacks. So all those things we do testing on our systems depending on the context and where they are going to be deployed before they get a go ahead or a sign off for deployment. So that is a part of our process. Part of our pre-release is a security testing and sign off. So that's a thing we do.
Continuous and evolving, like until a new attack comes.
Yes. So as I said, we have a bunch of CTI and security researchers in-house. So their job is to check on the latest techniques, tactics, procedures, which is prevalent in the cyberspace. They keep close monitoring. We also have vendors who are providing us inputs, vendors like Recorded Future and open source intelligence, and we bake all of them in our testing processes. So that way our AI red teaming is a very hot and happening team. In fact, couple of months back, we had inaugurated a brand new spanking facility only for enterprise cybersecurity, where all these teams sit, and it has got a separate access control, not for every employee, only for the folks who work in there, including man trap. You know what a man trap is, right? So it's a spherical, cylindrical thing where you swipe, you go, it will close, and another door will open. Like in star hotels, they have some star hotels. Then you enter. It became a big issue in the management. Why? What makes it very secure? Are you doing some NASA research? Why do you need so much security? We have a 24/7 security guard. We spend a lot of money. And then one day part of the inaugural, we brought in all the top leaders and explained our dashboard. We had a command center where all our SOC dashboards are there. We explained the significance of all the work that we do in cybersecurity around SOC, around red teaming and other things. And they were really flabbergasted. And they said, we never knew you guys are doing so much sitting in Bangalore. And then that validated. Now to make it more proactive, because this door, which is sliding door, it looks like Alibaba and 40K. Whoever goes in, nobody tells what is going on. So to promote ourselves, market ourselves better, at least with the data, digital product owners, the DPOs we call, we bring them a bunch of 10, 15 guys every month proactively and then we take them through the dashboards. We do a walkthrough. We call it Gemba walk. It's a Japanese term where you be on the floor and understand things. It's a 45-minute, session where we walk them through, do a guided tour, and we make a short presentation about what we do. Then they understand all these things. Because beyond security, the folks who are maybe in application development, testing, research, procurement, operations, they don't know what we do. And many people think security starts and ends with ethical hacking. That's the level of understanding many of them have. You ask any techie, they'll say, oh, it's all about ethical hacking, pen testing. They don't care two hoots about GRC, right? So that's not a good thing. Should develop a healthy respect for everything. I know I'm digressing a bit, but I thought I'll give you this big picture orientation. Thank you, guys.